So, the day of release, WarioWare Get It Together came out. I went over to the local GameStop to pick the game up since I had it pre-ordered already. Of course, it's a new WarioWare game, my favorite series. And after all, I was the biggest fan, so I dashed towards the GameStop. The man handed me the copy, but he had a weird look on his face. I didn't suspect anything, and I took it back to the car, plugged in my keys, but for some reason the car wouldn't turn on, so I had to get out and smash the head of the car a few times, and then the motor started back up again. I got back in the car, and I got Wario, and we went home. While I was driving home, I decided I'd listen to some music since it was a boring drive and I needed something to listen to. So I turned on Wario Original Mix and rocked out. I rolled down my windows because I thought it was kind of hot in the car. Then something really weird happened. That's when I started to notice something was up. WarioWare Get It Together flew out of its seat and jumped out the window. I ran over to the other seat. I pushed myself over, looked out the window, stopped the car, caused a few car crashes, and grabbed Wario. I got back in the car before the police could come to help the crashed cars. I quickly drove all the way back to my house. Once I got back, I was looking for my Switch. I placed WarioWare on the counter and went to the bathroom. Once I came out, I looked in my room for the Switch. It wasn't there, so I checked the kitchen. And then I went back to the basement, and my Switch was lying on the ground, open with a screen that said, "Do not insert WarioWare Get It Together." I thought this was really weird because I never put this game in and the text seemed off. The Switch didn't do anything except keep the screen. So I reset it. Once it turned back on, everything was fine. But WarioWare Get It Together wasn't even on the eShop because I was going to go open it. I forgot that the copy was still in the kitchen. I thought this was really weird because most people already had the game, but I didn't mind it. So I went back to the kitchen and I grabbed the game and I put it into my Switch. And then it failed to load. Nothing was on the Switch. I did it a few more times, took the game out, put it back in, and there was no luck. WarioWare just didn't exist. So I decided I had to do something. I needed to play this WarioWare game within the first hour of release. I went back to the GameStop at full speed. The car crash was pretty bad. I didn't really feel bad since they weren't Wario, and they're probably brainheads. I dashed back to the GameStop. I asked the man for a new Nintendo Switch, and full price I paid for it. I came back, and everything seemed to be going fine. WarioWare Get It Together popped up, and I went to the download screen to begin the download. While I waited, I went to the kitchen and got a piece of garlic, and I chewed on it just for a snack, because of course, Wario loves garlic. Once the game installed, I opened it, and everything seemed fine. The normal intro played, where it shows WarioWare Inc. at the house, with the characters all in a group. I thought this looks really cool and realistic. I do like to say, this game was really great, besides the creepy part of it. So when the game started up, the music was weird. It was slowed down and seemed like the pitch was lowered. I didn't mind this though. I thought that's just how it sounded during story mode when there was bugs and viruses. So I started up the game as normal. And then something really weird happened. The game opened up, another cutscene that was in none of the gameplays. I saw Wario with blood all over. But he was okay. There was just lots of blood all over. All of the selection menu screens, story mode, had blood on all of the noses. I started up anyway. I thought this was kind of creepy for a children's game. Though I wasn't a child, I still really enjoyed playing WarioWare. So, I decided I would just keep playing. I opened up story mode, and instead of there being viruses or anything like the trailer shows, there was dead moms all over. And it was just really weird. I saw that some of the characters had severed heads. Spitz was on a chicken roaster, dead. A chicken. This was really creepy, and as of now, I still have that image in my head. I decided to start up intro games. I started it up, everything was fine, but when 18-Volt and Cricket appeared, something was different. They were locked down with chains to boards, and Dr. Crygor came in, and he was holding a shotgun. He said, "Wario, get on the floor now or you'll end up like your friends here," and he blew them away. Cricket and 18-Volt flew off the screen, blood splattered everywhere. Wario decided he'd try to fight. So he beat up Crygor, shoved the mailbox on his head, and he was dead. So he tossed him out. This was really disgusting and definitely not how it was supposed to be a WarioWare Get It Together. I was scared, but I continued to keep playing because I realized, what if this is turning into something? What if I can make a video about this? So I kept playing. Intro games was already over. Who knows why. Then Mona appeared, her icon, on the That's Life micro games. I started it up, knowing that I shouldn't. The game started up just as fine, and it was like this all until Ashley's stage. I thought I'd finally be playing the normal game, but on Ashley's stage, in the cutscene, it was very different. It showed the mansion as usual, but once it got into the cutscene, Ashley's head was off.
Need to talk.
Ashley's head was on the ground, blood splattered all over. Red was smiling with a very scary looking face. Not as his usual cute face. It was scary. Something about him was different. Ashley was dead, bleeding all over the floor. I was so scared. I didn't even know what to say. Why was this happening? Then Red turned to the screen. Something flashed very fast, but I didn't even get to see what it said. Then it just went black, and Ashley's micro game started up, except there was no Ashley. It was slowed down, the audio was deepened, and all of the characters were gone, except Wario. He was the only one I could play as. All the characters I had previously unlocked were gone. I don't know why. But then, at the end of the stage, once beating the great minigame, it was very different. It just ended. The software crashed. My Switch didn't turn on for about, 6 hours. Then I turned it back on, and it seemed the game was already beat. So this was really weird because I didn't beat any of the rest of it. I decided to play some of the games again because, I haven't beat them yet, and I just wanted to play them. So I went to Penny's Mix. Penny was my favorite character in WarioWare besides Wario and every other character because I like them all the same. So I decided to play her mix. It looked fine when the opening cutscene showed up, but then during the micro games, things had blood splattered all over them, and all the micro games were disgusting and related to death and blood, like pluck, and you had to pull out an eye vein, and it was disgusting. Some of them were like chop off arms with blood splattering. And Penny was different. Instead of her usual water tank on her back, she had a knife. And I just thought, what is wrong with this copy of the game? I turned it off, and I took it out of the Switch, put it back in the thing, and I got my receipt. I ran back to the GameStop. I got in my car, sped all the way there, and I said, I need a refund on this game. I refunded the game and went home angry. I decided I needed to call up a different game store around. So I decided I'd go to the other GameStop and buy it. I went to the GameStop and I bought another copy of WarioWare Get It Together. Then, this time, I put in the game and Red showed up again with a creepy face. I thought, oh no, not again. It wasn't my Nintendo Switch and it wasn't the copy of the game. Who knew what was happening? And then, something appeared on the screen. It said, no matter what you do, I'll find you. I was really scared at this point. Why were all the copies in Nintendo Switches pulling these screens up? I decided that I would continue to play it because I was the biggest Wario fan and I wasn't going to miss out on the fun. I reset the console, opened the game, and this time it was fine. I played through the entire game without any creepy things happening. I went to the character selection though, and then I realized after completing the game, I forgot about the red message. What did it mean? I went to sleep that night, very scared. The Switch was locked in the basement, so it wasn't anywhere near me. I was a little bit horrified, to be honest. I lied down in bed, thinking to myself, what was wrong with WarioWare Get It Together? I just wanted to enjoy the game without any of this creepy stuff happening. I was about to drift off to sleep when I heard some crashing noises downstairs. Huge thuds on the ground, and crashing sounds and breaking sounds, almost as if someone was in my house. I got so scared, I grabbed the fork, the closest weapon near me, opened the door, and trotted down the stairs. I looked, and I saw a mysterious man in the corner, only a shadow though. I walked over, and I showed the flashlight on him. It was Dave the Useless. He went insane and started breaking my things. He was smashing all my glasses, taking my Wario stuff, and was driving out the house. I was so upset. He got his car. Before he left, he came and rammed into my house and broke all my stuff. I jumped up and ran out of the house. All of my Wario stuff was destroyed. He took my toilet, he took all my stuff, and started smashing my copy of WarioWare, and smashed my Nintendo Switch, and smashed all my stuff. He took my clothes and shredded them. And then he tried to steal my channel, but I wasn't gonna let that happen. I grabbed my gun and started firing bullets. Dave the Useless. I was screaming and saying, "Get out of my house." He came back. He was throwing knives at my house. I dodged all of them and shot Dave the Useless in the butt. He screamed. He shot me back. And I was firing bullets back and forth until the police showed up and arrested the two of us. I ended up getting out of court since I was innocent with the help of Orbulon and a few other of the Wario characters who decided to help me out. But this was kind of weird. I noticed that no one else could see them, only me. And people told me I was hallucinating, whatever that means, but that's not true, because I'm best friends with all the WarioWare characters. Anyway, that night, I went to sleep, and this time something really weird happened. I was trying to go to sleep, so I decided I'd watch some stupid videos. I came across the channel Beluga, and I saw this character called Pablo. It kind of scared me, not gonna lie. I was scared, trembling in my bed. But, I actually stole someone's house that was on vacation because I didn't have a house. Dave the Useless broke it. He was locked behind bars anyway. So, the weirdest thing happened to me. I was so scared after this. I was trying to go to sleep and I was mysteriously woken. That night, I was so scared. Life was weird and dim. I got out of my bed. That person's bed, and started stealing all of their cereal, and I realized I wasn't even awake. What was happening? I walked outside, and everything looked like WarioWare Get It Together with Dave the Useless texture morphed on it. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. So I ran back into the house, and then I laid back down in bed and pulled a blanket over my face. When I took the blanket off, I was horrified. I saw young Cricket staring at me. But young Cricket was black, all black, with red eyes. He stared at me, and he pulled up a mailbox. The mailbox was open, and I almost screamed when he shoved the mailbox on my head and started suffocating me. I tried to escape, but it was too late. Then I woke up, and I realized life was still dim. I couldn't even move this time. And then young Cricket came back and said, "Nighty-night," smashed me in the head with the shovel.